Thank you, Chairman, and thank you also to the two members that are here before us to present on this bill. I was really excited coming to DC, and I'm not often excited coming to DC, but this week I was, because here again, I see that we have an opportunity to do right by a group of young professionals who have really taken it in the chin when it comes to politics on issues that I think that if we get out of the political limelight and individually we talk about the issues of dreamers and people under TPS protections, we could agree that these are not concerns to our national security, because these are people that have lived with us, are our neighbors, have worked with us, have done everything that they could possibly do to be on the right side of the law, on the right side of our communities, and want to be a part of the American dream. Last week, I met with a group of dreamers from a local community college in my district. These young people were brought here the way I was brought here as a child. Our children don't have a choice. We tell them when to go to bed, when to eat, when they have to go to school, what school that they have to go to. And just like that, their lives and my life was changed. My parents thought it was safer for me to come to the U.S. To live with my father's oldest brother. At the time, Guatemala was a country that was in the midst of a civil war. 1970 was a very different time in the U.S. I understand that. It was a very different time in the Northern Triangle, too. So, fast forward to now, my trajectory to the U.S. is really not very different than what these young professionals are going through. It is unfortunate, and you're correct, it is unfortunate that Congress hasn't been able to get their act together, that we have allowed outside politics to get in the way of good governance. And you're correct, last year we had a couple of opportunities to bring out bills. One was the Good Lot bill that I highly disagreed with, that I was glad to see defeated in a bipartisan way on the floor. I am happy that it got the opportunity to come to the floor and to have a robust debate on the issue, and for us to represent both sides. I found it difficult that at the same time, while we had an opportunity to vote on one bill, Speaker Ryan at the time refused to allow the Democratic bill to come forward, or the bipartisan bill that had been worked out by two members, a Republican and a Democrat, members of our caucuses, and several others had given a lot of input towards that legislation. And it might have been that I did not agree with everything on that bill, but it was a path forward. It was a way to get consensus. It was a way for us to get something done without, a bloody fight, debate on the floor. That wasn't an option. So we decided on a discharge petition on the floor. And unfortunately, there again, we were not able to secure all of the signatures that we needed. And we were short one signature, one member of Congress to have the courage to stand up for what is right. One member of Congress to say, we want to have this debate, as well as we debated the Good Lot bill. we are representatives of our communities and we deserve to be heard on the floor. That wasn't an option. So I want to tell you about the people that I met with over the weekend. These are young people that they found some safety and a glimmer of hope when, whether you agree with it or not, when President Obama, signed on an executive decision to say, if Congress can't get this done, at the very least, I am going to provide, some safety and security to these group of people. And that's the Dreamers. So these young professionals, one of them, her name is Nydia. She was brought here when she was 6 years old. During that time, not only did she have to take care of herself, she also had to take care of her 3-year-old sister. I can't imagine at 6 years old having to be responsible for yourself or for your sibling, but that's what she had to do. She is now in college, and she is now able to go to work because she has a work permit. But what happens, when this benefit goes away? What happens when somebody signs off this legal protection that she has? Another DACA recipient filed for a permit. Unfortunately, that permit was delayed. Documents were lost, buried on someone's desk because of the issues that were happening at the time. One moment it was, yes, we support the Dreamers. Another moment, we're not. Another moment, we're taking away that benefit. We're going to court. The court decides they're going to uphold the Obama decision. So that paperwork got lost in the process. She didn't get her permit renewal on time. She lost her job as a result. And for 2 months, she didn't have a job, even though she had to provide as a single mom, for her 2 children. But she managed to make ends meet, regardless, with the help of her family and friends. She made it work. But these are the problems that we're creating in our communities by refusing, to work together, to move forward on a piece of legislation that I think that we all agree. These are not national security concerns. These are people that have been here in our communities. Another constituent was an applied math major at Cal Poly Pomona who was set to graduate last year. And it meant giving up her dreams of a college degree and becoming a researcher. That's how we impacted this young person, and how many more jobs could have been created had she been successful at getting her career and her job. The lack of immigration documents disrupted her ability to stay enrolled in school. So she's been without a job for the last 2 months. Today we have an opportunity to give these young people hope. We have an opportunity to give them the documents that they need and the promise that the American dream is not that far away, and that they could still attain it, and that they could become the citizens that we want them, that we are encouraging them to be. So if you came here as a child and you went to college, if you stayed in your job, if you went to the armed services, if you stayed on the right side of the law, we can give them a reliable way to continue to be active participants in our communities through citizenship. This is historic. what we could accomplish here if we are open and allowed ourselves to do more than just play politics. And I hope that we can come to some agreement to do that, because I think that we owe these young children. We don't incarcerate and we don't punish children for the sins of the parents. That's not the society that we are. That I hope that we will stand up for what's right here. And what is right is to move a step forward and continue to incorporate them as the Americans that they are in every way except in paper. So I'm very proud to stand here, with all of you, and I hope that we can move this bill forward. And if not this, what? And if not now, when? And if we don't do it today, and if we don't do it now, and if we don't check this box, there are thousands of people that will continue to be in limbo in our communities. And I think that we deserve to do more than just allow them to stay out there without any real way to create a bigger future for themselves here. With that, I support this bill, and I yield back.
Ms. Torres, thank you for your very thoughtful remarks and